Leo, can I get first reaction, please?
I'll talk to you later.
Sorry, Ryan. Sorry.
Are we going to do this every time I win a championship here?
Maybe. Now, what are your thoughts on being...
So here's my first reaction. I'm the man, and I told you so. Every time I come here, I step through the door, I walk out with more gold around my waist. And that's not something really you can teach. And you know why? It's because I'm a vegan. And it's because there's only one son of the sun. And tonight, the son of the sun is the VPW champion.
Thanks, Leo. I think.
Thanks, Leo.
Who taught you how to rap?
Well, I spent some time working at McDonald's, and part of like your training is like you gotta take the things and you gotta like fold them the right way, you gotta wrap them the right way. So like I didn't last very long, as you could tell. I just wasn't. It wasn't for me. Like it wasn't for me. It's not for everybody. I'm currently jobless outside professional wrestling, so I really hope that this takes off because the cardboard box like just isn't keeping me insulated at night anymore.
You need to put your priorities in.
You think I should go back to McDonald's?
No.
You think Ronald will take me back? Ronald.
Grimace.
Yeah. Well, Grimace is working with the Mets now. So do you think I could get a job with the Mets?
Probably.
Get a good job with the Mets?
Probably be in the starting lineup for the Mets.
Starting lineup for the Mets? I'll take that.
I don't think that's going to work.
You don't think why don't you think it's going to work?
I don't think it's going to work. Anyway. All right. So Tiffany Avatar just lost the Goddesses of War championship. And I heard she went to, Lucky Leo's, to sulk in the candy stuff. So let's go see how she's going. What the hell? Tiffany, are you all right, Tiffany?
Is that my buddy?
What happened? You lost the title.
She poisoned my lollipop, smashed me over the head with it. I don't have my title anymore, buddy. I can't go home. I can't go to Candyland. I don't know what to do. I'm just gonna lay here, okay?
Oh, okay. All right, Tiff. All right. Man, that Amity, she's really tough. Wait, what? What the hell?
I just want to say that it was super rude of you to walk away from me earlier.
I'm talking to the New York State champion. You're going to have to pay up.
Do you take Kale?
Dude, goodbye.
Whipwreck, Cation, doesn't matter.
We'll see what happens, but it looks like we have a special guest.
Get my earplugs on.
No. You was looking for Tina, and then you talk about people.
Dominate tonight, all right? The Dirty Deeds, they got nothing.
We're now the new Starlet champion. What's going on?
Hi, I am Fearless Princess, so why not team up?
All right, now just announced by Mr. Joel Maximo for February.
Finisher is called the Shadow Band, and I was like, that's kind of...
Hold on. Let me speak. Okay?
But today I got a very special guest. I got the great. Welcome to Beyond the Barricade. I am your host, Papa Dank, and tonight I have a very special guest. Let me bring to you the one, the only, Nova Rain. Hi,
Hello.
Nova.
How are you?
Good. How are you tonight?
I'm doing well.
All right. Let everybody know where you're coming from, because I am coming from Long Island, New York.
I'm actually on the outskirts of Memphis, Tennessee.
Okay.
But I travel different places. I don't like to stay in one place very long.
Gotcha. Got it. Oh, here we go. I'm here and ready. Mark's ready to watch us. Deacon says, "Get it, baby." Welcome, Deacon. Glad you're here with us. Now let's talk about the upcoming match you got going on. If I can find
Yes,
the
sir.
blinds. I am also blind. There you go. You are facing K Southern at AWA Saturday, August 10th. This Saturday. Let us know how this rivalry started between you two.
I had nothing against Kay, honestly, to begin with. It had absolutely nothing to do with her. I think it really started more with Mad Money Mike. I thought he was going to be on my side, and out of nowhere, he cheated me, and he turned on me, and Kay ended up getting the 1, 2, 3, and then he
Wow.
he and Apex Mac came up behind me and
Mhm.
held me against my will, and then next thing I know, I'm waking up in the hospital a couple days later, no idea what's going on. Found out that an ambulance had taken me off, that I was laying in a pool of my own blood, left in the middle of the ring. So as far as the
Wow.
match, like I
Mhm.
told Kay, my only thought process right now is revenge, and I've tried warning her, and she still wants a rematch. So I'm going to give her what she's asking for, and I make no
This
apologies.
this sounds like it's gonna be real personal this Saturday night, man.
You know, it doesn't matter who gets in the ring with me. Like I said in promos before, it could be any of the guys from the locker room. It could be the announcers, the commissioner. It could be even the security. You get in my way, I'm going to run you over.
All right, let's talk about the rest of the card now. We got a lineup in there. I see Tommy Too Good over there.
Mm.
The Savage Brotherhood. Brody's on actually in the chat right now. And Bullwhip over there, Bullwhip Ballard. This Saturday night, August 10th, doors open at 5 o'clock. Bell time's at 6:30, and tickets are only $10.
Yes,
That
sir.
is a great price. And you get to see Nova Rain come down with her barbed wire bat.
Absolutely. And I'm not afraid to use it.
Yikes. I'm so glad I won't be in the building to get hit with the barbed wire bat. I had someone try to attack me with pliers. Can you believe that?
Really?
Oh, yeah. That's Amity LeVay. She's our resident unhinged wrestler.
Like my type of woman.
Yikes. All right, let's go into your history. Let's talk about how you fell in love with professional wrestling.
Well, I was born and raised in it. Actually, my grandfather is the one that started the whole family legacy part. He went by Buddy Wayne, and had my uncle. He went by Ken Wayne, and he was part of the Nightmares, Ken Wayne and Danny Davis. And my dad refereed for as long as I can remember. I have the referee knowledge. I've done a couple refereeing things for Wildfire Wrestling a couple years ago, well, about 8 or 9 years ago. My mom wrestled as Vicious Vicky, so it just runs in my blood.
Okay,
It's just
awesome.
something I honestly never thought I was going to get into, and then all of a sudden I was, you know what? Let me just do it and say I've done it, and now I love it. I
Now
don't
you
know
can't
why
get out. All right, let everybody know where you trained and who trained you in wrestling and what you went through during that first initial training.
I started training with my uncle, Ken Wayne. I trained with him for a while, and I ended up getting really hurt. I took a hip toss wrong, and I thought I was paralyzed. So I stayed out for quite some time, and we would run shows, house shows every now and then. I would get in, play around with some of the guys or my siblings more. I always beat up my siblings. I'm the oldest of 4, so that was fun.
Hopefully not
And
with the
then
barbed wire bat.
no, sir. Not then. If they got in
Okay.
there with me now, I probably would.
It'd be a different story. All right.
Finished going through. Well, I'm still currently going through training with Big Daddy Storm. He is probably the most patient person with me. I had a really hard time getting over my fear of the hip toss after I was injured. He walked me through several different times, and finally I was like, okay, if I don't do it, I'm not going to do it, and I'll just have to quit. And he hyped me up, and I did it, and here we are now.
That's awesome. Now, I love those. I love Big Daddy Storm, man. He's such a nice guy.
Absolutely.
At least outside the ring. Inside the ring, he's a killer, man. Forget about it. All right, let me know who your toughest match to date was. Who was your opponent, and why was this match so difficult?
I'd probably have to say C-Rex.
Okay. Why was the match difficult with C-Rex?
She was very good with me. Did you notice her size versus my size? It was like a David and Goliath type thing. It was just, I don't know, I guess with me just getting into actually wrestling, I haven't been wrestling very long. She was actually great. I don't really see anything difficult with it. You know, help me every way she needed to help me, and she did a fantastic job.
How long you been wrestling for?
This coming up Saturday will actually be my 4th match.
Oh wow.
I'm very new.
Okay, all right. Starting off the bat, that's okay. So let's talk about goals. What kind of goals have you set up for yourself in your first year?
I want to be the best of the best for women. It's very difficult to find somewhere for a woman to fit in, because wrestling is a predominantly male environment, and we have to fight and prove ourselves. So any training available that I can get to, anything that I haven't learned that I want to learn, I'm constantly on the go. Like, this is what I want to do. I'm going to do it. And then once I do it, I want to perfect it. So I have
100%.
small children, so I don't really plan on traveling to like WWE or anywhere big, because I'd rather be home with my family.
With your kids. Okay. So your goal is to remain fairly local to where you live.
For the most part, yes. If I got a good opportunity to travel and it wouldn't take too much time away from my kids, I would absolutely do it.
Okay. Is there anybody out in the independent scene that you want to have a match with that is like, oh man, I'd like to wrestle that person?
Nyx.
Nyx. Oh man,
Yeah.
I know Nyx.
I love everything about Nyx.
All right. What's the selling point for you to have a match with her?
I guess our schedules collide too much, so we're not able to get in the same place at the same time.
Okay.
But I think with her knowledge and my knowledge, I think we would have one hell of a match. And it would be
Awesome.
more wrestling. It would be amazing. It would be the talk of the town for a while.
Okay. All right. Nyx, if you're watching, you know what you got to do, Nyx. Hold on a sec. Nyx versus Nova would be fire. Have to agree with that. All right, let's talk about match you want to be in that you haven't been in yet.
I've heard triple threats are pretty difficult. That's something I want to do.
Okay.
There's a lot to go with that.
Is there anybody in particular you would like to wrestle in a triple threat? Or it doesn't
Not
matter?
necessarily Nyx.
Nyx. Okay, all right. What about a intergender match? Have you thought about having an intergender match with someone?
I have thought about it, but I haven't really put much effort into it. I'm not sure how other companies would look at that, because I know some companies are 100% against it, and I know some are. And with me being fairly new, I haven't really expanded and pushed myself as hard as I should have been, or as hard as I should be.
Okay. All right.
If I'm up, I would probably say yes, I would do one.
All right. What about it? We're going to jump out of wrestling for a moment. What about any hobbies? What hobbies do you have?
I love music and arts and crafts.
Awesome. What's your favorite band or singer?
I have lots of different bands. I grew up not only in the wrestling business, but my dad also did a lot of music and stuff. He was DJing at different places, so I've grown up around music. And I actually, on my hand, I don't see it, it's in his handwriting that says, "When words fail, music speaks." So music is a big part of my life.
All right. Now, which is your, if you had to listen to one type of music, what would be your favorite?
Probably rock.
Rock. Okay. All right. Right on. I like that old school rock. So I'm a big Doors fan. I love the Doors.
I love all kind of old school rock, the new rock, old country, Conway Twitty, Patsy Cline, Loretta Lynn. What I grew up listening to. People tell me all the time I'm an old soul. I'm like, that's just how I was raised.
Okay. Now it's funny. I was talking about rock. I've been listening all day while I was when I went out before and driving around, whatever. I was listening to Elvis all day long. I freaking love Elvis. Well. I think my favorite Elvis thing that I've watched was the actual movie with Austin Butler. I thought it was fantastic. I saw it like 3 times in IMAX. Seen it like 3 more times at home. And something popped in my head. I'm driving. I'm like, man, I gotta listen to Elvis, and I just put it on. There you go, Elvis. I even got a Funko Pop, as you can see in the background. I collect them, but I have one signed by Austin Butler.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so it's one of the things I said, man. If I gotta get a Funko Pop signed, which I have several, just it had to be Elvis. You know.
Absolutely.
So let me know, who has been your favorite wrestler of all time?
That's a hard one. Um, Obviously, I'm going to say my mom and my grandpa. Besides them, I would probably say Steve Bradley. He was one of my favorites. I loved everything about him that he did. He was one of my favorite people growing up.
Okay, all right. Anything that stood out about Steve Bradley?
His whole attitude. He was a completely different person behind the curtain with us versus as soon as he hit the curtain, he was the sensational Steve Bradley. Like I don't know, his whole character was amazing. I loved it.
Okay, awesome. Do you watch any of the product nowadays?
Not very often
Not
at
that
all.
often.
Mm-mm.
Okay. So you want to stay local?
Like I'll watch
Go ahead.
like I do behind the scenes for Bluff City Wrestling here in Memphis. I do stuff
Okay.
with them. I've also done stuff with Crossroads in Mississippi, and
Okay.
then Arkansas Wrestling Association. Those are the only three really I honestly keep up with.
So I want to go with this. Once wrestling is over, let's say for you, personally, whatever the reason, would you like to stay in the business as behind the scenes work, or maybe have your own company one day?
I don't know about my own company. It is too stressful. I have seen that with my own eyes.
Right.
Running all the promotions in the ring, like it is so much.
It's
But
tough. Yeah.
if I
I
had the
bet.
opportunity to do the behind the scenes stuff at other companies, I would, because I'd still enjoy like giving my opinion or my constructive criticism, like, hey, you did this, I think this would look better or
Right.
whatever. And it just makes me feel good, makes me feel like I'm helping out the newcomers. Like I know that they're helping me now, so
Right.
I would like to return the favor.
I've always wanted to have my own wrestling company, but even if someone just brought me so I can learn the creative process, I think I would be very happy with it.
It is very stressful.
It's very I talk to a lot of owners as I become friends with them, and they tell me the stories, and I'm like, man, that's tough. Yeah. And there's a lot of like petty rivalries too between companies that shouldn't even be a thing, but
Exactly.
that's just my opinion. Whatever. Everybody should just do their own thing, and whatever happens, happens. All right, we got a
Exactly.
question for you from Angel. Any stories of interactions with legends from when you were younger?
So growing up, I stayed at my grandpa's house a lot. We had a wrestling ring in the backyard, and a lot of the guys would come over. And I remember when I was younger, standing on the side of the apron when Sid Vicious would come over, and I would jump off and do like a crossbody onto him, and we would laugh and cut up.
Oh wow.
At my 12th birthday party, we had a place out in Memphis called X Site. It's like a putt-putt type place. They had Lasertron, miniature golf, go-karts, different things like that. And I had Derek King, CB Wyatt, Vicious Vic Grimes, and Steve Bradley come to my birthday party
Oh wow, I know
when I was
Derek.
12.
Wow,
I looked at
Derek worked in OVW when he was younger.
hmm
Yeah.
a lot of the guys have started here in Memphis and we had developmental contracts with WWE and OVW and a bunch of different places. So they would start out here, and then I guess once they got enough ring time, they went to the bigger companies.
Wow, that's a good Sid Vicious story. I like that one. He just caught
That
you
was
like
probably
this, like nothing, right?
like I was a feather.
Have you ever asked any advice from any of the legends that you've come across? Like, what has been the best advice anyone has given you?
Be myself and have fun. That's pretty much what everybody has told me.
Okay, awesome. Let me see. Man, if all right, we're gonna go ifs. If you could go to any country to train, which country would you go to? If you could. I know your situation, but if you could.
Mm, if it was back in the day, probably Puerto Rico. I've heard lots of stories about going to Puerto Rico and the guys coming back and they're like a completely different person. I'm like, yeah, that would be nice.
Okay, awesome. That's good stuff. Any other local people you want to wrestle that comes to
Mm,
mind? I know you had a couple in the back of your head.
if it were to be an intergender, probably Steven Styles. I think it
Okay.
would be a fun match between him and I.
Okay.
Um,
I know Steven.
there's like I said, there's not very many females around here for me to wrestle, so I'm kind of limited on who I could choose.
Yeah, I was talking to another owner who's down from your area, and he was saying the same thing. It's hard to get female wrestlers, and even like any I would recommend, they'd have to fly them out there, and it's a big expense for any company. So
Yes.
I know it's tough, but hopefully we can get more women wrestlers to train down there
That,
and fall in love with the business, especially that it's in an all-time high right now.
hmm
So, all right. Any last words for everybody Nova?
Um, I really am a nice person. I really am. But when
I,
it
I
comes to somebody coming up behind me, blindsiding me, and then
mhm.
intentionally inflicting pain on me, just be prepared for whatever happens is going to happen. I take no apology for the hell that's going to be raining upon anybody that's going to be in the ring. And if it happens to be Kay, sorry, not sorry.
Uh-oh. Okay, you better better watch out, because Nova's going with a barbed wire bat coming after you. Make sure everybody checks out AWA this Saturday night in Blytheville. Well, I'm sorry to say they're Arkansas. Make sure you come down, get your tickets. Doors open at 5. Bell time is 6:30. Nova's taking on Kay Southern, and Kay will be here tomorrow, Nova. I'm excited to see what she's gonna say.
Yeah, I'll be watching just to see what she says, but
All right.
it's not going to change my mind.
Got you. Nova, thank you for coming on the podcast. I appreciate you coming on.
Opportunity.
Hope you had a great time. Mark says Kay is prepared. Okay.
Always has something to say.
Always has something to say. All right, now I got a couple of things I want to say. Speaking of talent, maybe close to the area, Maryland, she lives. But the one and only Kai McKenna, the Invictus Women Wrestling Champion, will be on next week, next Tuesday night actually, at 8 p.m. It's been a long time coming, but Kai and I finally made set the date for her to come on the podcast. Can't wait to have her on. Also next week, the owner of Bree Combination Wrestling, Mr. Anthony Cole. We're going to be talking about the upcoming show coming up on the 18th, where Tiffany Avatar will be an official entrant in the Grand Rumble Sunday, August 18th at Richfield Park. Make sure you get your tickets at Bree Combination Wrestling. It's sure to be a great show. I will also be at Seaside Heights for Seaside Showdown 2 from Titan Championship Wrestling. Make sure you go to Titan Championship Wrestling to get your tickets for this event. I'll be also doing a live podcast kind of collaboration with Around the Ropes. And who knows who will stop by. That'll be between 12 and 1:30 p.m. We're not sure when we're going to end. But definitely at 12 it will start. And check us out on our own channels. Also coming next week, you probably know this person, Mr. Dorian Vane. Coming on next week at 7 p.m. See, he's full of arrogance, and I can't wait to see what Dorian has to say. Oh man, Dorian. All right, I also got coming up the Gold Rush Rumble this Saturday night from Victory Pro Wrestling. Make sure you get your tickets for Victory Pro Wrestling Gold Rush Rumble, as D Vibe will be in the Rumble. And then I'm going to be at Kaiju Pro Wrestling on August 25th. It's a Sunday at 2 p.m. in Bristol, Connecticut. What exactly will I be doing there? Just have to wait and see. Also want to thank my graphics designer, Pickway Design. They are the official graphic sponsor for me. Make sure you go and get your information. And they do a lot of stuff, including web design, logo design, custom clothing, vehicle wraps, and printing. Check them out. And you can also check out the Puppet and commercial on SICW Wrestling from Mr. Herb Simmons. Make sure you check them out on YouTube. Whew. That's a mouthful, man. Uh-oh. The Deadly Sins is on. What? Who's that Dorianer? Whoa. It might be a north-south war again over here, Nova. Yikes. All right, Nova, hold on for a second. Everybody else have a great night. It could be.